No questions? I'm sure you have questions. Who's the first one? Hello? Don't be shy. The universe always rewards the bold.
Ricominciamo la sessione di domande. I set you. Ok, it's okay.
Right.
Sia a sinistra che a destra del palco. Grazie.
Go.
You were talking this morning about the importance of meditation. Is there any specific kind of meditation that you advise? Is it transcendental meditation like Tim Ferriss, or you do something else? And also, I really like walking in the mountains.
Okay, one question. Okay, done. In Italy, you ask questions for 20 minutes. Me, 10 seconds, max, to answer your question. What's the best type of meditation? A lot of stuff with meditation is a scam. I have a friend who teaches 8-year-old kids, gifted kids. He showed them that just repeating the word onion and just concentrating on onion for 20 minutes is as good as transcendental meditation. I am trained in transcendental meditation, but to tell you the truth, it's a scam. You pay too much, so it's better that you pick a word. So in transcendental meditation, you pay $2,000, so they give you your secret mantra. That's bullshit. So you could just say love, 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 but just concentrate on that, not love. Oh fuck, did I leave the oven on? No, love, love, love. So the way transcendental meditation works, or any type of meditation, is to focus on something. You could say, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. And then you'll start believing it. But the thing that is important is repetition. You could look at a flame on a candle and just look at the flame. Don't think of anything. That's meditation.
Ciao, volevo solo chiedere, per quanto riguarda stamattina, avevi parlato dei vegetariani e dei vegani. Volevo solo sapere, per chi lo fa per etica personale, non per salutismo, se c'è un'alternativa, essendo anche sportivo, intendo. Perché per la riduzione dei carboidrati e l'aumento delle proteine, però appunto non completamente animali, ecco. No.
Were you dropped on your head as a child? No? You look like it. But it's impossible. If you do it for ethical reasons, that's your reasons. But in a polite way, you'll never achieve optimal performance as a human. The thing is that I respect that you do it for ethical reasons, but I'm a performance specialist. I'm not an ethics specialist. So I would say it's impossible.
Grazie.
Good evening. My company delivers a motor skills program for toddlers aged 2 years old to 5 years old. What do you suggest to add if this is the case in the strengthen, to help the children taking good things to do in order to improve their strength?
The most important time to improve a child's strength is when they're born. Let me explain. babies should be put on their stomach as much as possible. A lot of doctors say don't do that. Trust me. The baby, to know what's going on, has to do this. What happens is that strength of the neck extensors is the best predictor of strength when they grow up. That's why kids nowadays are very weak, because they're texting, iPad, and so on. So that I would do initially. But the most important thing for kids to know is where are they in time and space. And do not over-specialize. My daughter did figure skating, volleyball, basketball, gymnastics, Kempo karate, boxing, judo, jiu-jitsu, track and field before the age 12. The rule is simple. You achieve 90% of your coordination by age 12. A big mistake that is done all over the world depends on the national sport. In Canada, hockey, do hockey. Okay, but the kids can't walk and chew gum at the same time. In Italy, it's football, which is also acting. So the most important thing is to do it where there is fun. I used to teach kids gymnastics. I could show them technical moves, but kids will learn technical moves at the speed of how much they gain strength and power. So we used to play jungle, and in jungle, I would take the gymnastics training hall, and I would set it up like an obstacle course. So I would take the women's high beam, make it like this. Take the bars, make them uneven. I would run a course, and then I say, you're the animals, you're a tiger, you're a rhinoceros, you're an hippopotamus, you're a jaguar. And I say, be in character. So the kids would pretend to be a tiger, whatever. Then I would get a big cart of volleyballs, and it'd be the hunter. I'd take the balls and pitch at them. I would never hurt a child. I was really good at getting really close to scare the hell out of them, so they would run faster. So the kids had to go around the gym with all the obstacle courses. And this way they had fun, and they didn't know that they were doing strength training, because climbing is very good for strength. And the thing is that I'm a big believer that before age 12, kids should have fun. Okay? They should learn how to wrestle. They should learn to do different things. In Sweden, parents have asked me the same question. And I said the best thing to do, you can't play football in the winter. So do something else. So some parents believed me, they did it, and they could play better soccer when they returned to it. My nephew was on a Canadian team in soccer, football. As a kid, he did soccer, football, for one season. Didn't really like it. So my sister, following my advice, put him in diving, fencing, kung fu, karate, you name it. He didn't play for 8 years. Then he went to play soccer, and he was a very good player. And coaches in Canada says, where's that kid? We have no statistics on him. Why? Because he did something else. But they couldn't believe that he didn't play soccer for 8 years. But he built his coordination doing other things. So variation is very important with children.
Thanks.
Buonasera e grazie per il suo intervento. Volevo sapere cosa ne pensava sulla Nutri-Genetica.
Could you be more vague? Oh, I get it. It's essential. You have to eat according to your genes. So Nutri-Genics is, let's say if you're Norwegian, you need more fat. You're native from Ecuador, you need more carbohydrates. So Nutri-Genics, but nutrients, as in like B9, B12, blah, 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 that has to be individualized. I am dopamine dominant. I'm made to go to war. I'm not Gandhi. Not shaped like Gandhi. So my body needs more B6, B9, B12 than the average person. So I make sure that I eat the foods for that. And the quality of food has gone down, so I do take supplements.
Grazie.
Prego.
Hi Charles, do you have any supplements that you would recommend for daily health?
For headaches? Headaches?
There is any supplement that you would recommend for daily health?
Daily headaches, like
Health,
health.
yeah, health.
Okay. The first thing you need to do is the official photographer here. She wrote an article on HCl. The first thing you should do is, and that's true, more true for Italians. Italians have very low levels of stomach HCl. So if you go on my website and you punch HCl, videos, articles, and I'll show you how to do the HCl test. The best functional medicine doctors do not give you supplements until you test your HCl. It's all on my website. You could easily find it. Second most important is fish oil. Next is magnesium. There's no more magnesium in the soil. It doesn't matter where you live. Third is a good multi. And fourth would be probiotics. Probiotics always have to be taken at the end of the meal. That is very important.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Allora, io volevo chiedere, per chi comunque, nonostante i tuoi consigli, non mangia carne, volevo sapere due cose: se il pesce può comunque essere l'alternativa migliore, e poi riguardo alla soia, se consigli di mangiarla o non mangiarla, cosa ne pensi, insomma?
Okay, if you don't like meat and you eat fish, that's a good protein source. Make sure the fish is clean. Okay? Soy, if your goal in life is to have nipples the size of a frisbee, eat soy. Soy is very bad for you. Soy products, all of them, have abnormal amounts of manganese. Manganese in small amounts is fine. Large amounts destroys the brain. So if you don't like your brain, have a tofu latte, okay? Soy feminizes the body. So you turn into a woman, even if you're a guy. So a typical soy consumer, male, will say things like this: do I look fat in these pants? They cry after sex. After they have sex, they say, do you want to meet my parents? Soy is terrible for you, unless your goal is nipples and you want big tits.
Buongiorno Charles. Voglio farti una domanda che riguarda il riposo. Se ho capito bene, questa mattina hai detto che l'ideale sarebbe quello di riuscire a dormire 7 ore e mezzo la notte e un riposo di 90 minuti durante il giorno. Voglio quindi chiederti, è possibile ridurre il tempo del riposo e anche del riposo notturno e anche quello del giorno senza rimetterci in termini di energia e produttività?
I got it. Okay. Yes, it is possible to reduce sleep requirements by meditation. If you meditate twice a day, every day, for 20 minutes at a time, you can save 2 hours at night. But I still believe strongly that it doesn't help with the nap time. So 6 at night, an hour and a half, it would be the lowest you can go for optimal. My brain is wired for optimal. I don't like normal. Normal is Homer Simpson. I want the best. So for most of you, 7.5 at night, an hour and a half during the day, if you can do it. Sometimes you have a job, but if you work for the Italian government, you can have naps all the time.
Thanks a lot.
Welcome.
Buongiorno, grazie per quanto ci ha detto fino adesso. Volendo cercare di trasmettere un po' di questi contenuti positivi ad una persona a noi vicina e scettica, e volendo individuare...
Stop. Okay. Questions. I can get the point in 10 seconds or less.
Yes.
Is the person a parent?
Quite a parent.
Is it your mother, your father?
My wife.
Ah, the real boss. He's the type of guy that always has the last word. Yes, dear. You won't be able to do it. You could be Nobel Prize winner at home. It's not going to work. The rule with relatives, especially if it's your parents, they wiped your ass as a kid. You could be the best doctor in the world. Your opinion doesn't matter. So for kids, the best way to communicate health information is find out somebody to respect. Let's say you know to eat a meat and nut breakfast. You say, hey, son, you need to eat that. Can you read between the lines? Right? So you're not going to get any respect. But if you say to the football coach, can you read this article and explain it to my son? The next thing, he's going to go home, hey, Dad, the soccer coach says I need to eat meat and nuts. I'll eat meat and nuts. So it's really hard to communicate. Wives or husbands is the worst. So I find the best way is to recruit a friend to do it for you. But I've never tried to convince my spouses of anything. They believe me because of my status, but I find it's really hard to do. You're not alone. It's very normal, but get someone else to do it. You don't try. It's a waste of time.
Thank you.
Ciao, volevo chiederti, hai detto che vai a dormire alle 8 e ti alzi alle 4. Volevo chiedere perché non dalle 9 alle 5, perché
10
scegli
seconds.
esattamente questa fascia? E tua figlia?
Okay. I got it. I get it. I can read minds. The answer is, it doesn't matter. You want to do 10 to 6, it doesn't make you a bad person. But there is very strong research that shows that the more hours you have before midnight, the more restorative the sleep is. I tend to overfocus, so I need an alarm to tell me to go to bed. Okay? Because I said, I'll be working, I can get lost in working. That's why I have an alarm for the Pomodoro. My daughter, when they, oh, this is important. If you have teenagers, let them go to bed at the time they want, because their circadian rhythm gets disrupted at puberty. A lot of parents will say, get out of bed, blah, blah, blah. I let my daughters go to bed when she wants, wakes up when she wants. Because at the age they're going through puberty, their melatonin cycle is completely messed up. So the problem with school is they have to get up at 6 or whatever. In the US, in the state of Minnesota, they said teenagers go to school at 10, not 7. They finish later. In 1 year, results on state exams went up 50%. So I'm a big believer that teenagers should go to bed when they want, get up when they want, and they'll have a better result. Thank you for the question.
Salve. Allora io volevo sapere se una persona che ha problemi ormonali deve seguire una dieta particolare o va bene la paleo?
For sure. Certo.
Ok.
Prova, ecco. Buonasera, vorrei sapere se i carboidrati complessi sono realmente indispensabili per il recupero muscolare quando si fanno allenamenti anche in stripping.
No. You can synthesize glycogen from protein. The only time I give carbohydrates is if the body fat is below 10%, they train hard enough, and they need to build muscle mass. So there's always an exception to the rule. But in men, I don't give them carbohydrates until they're sub 10% body fat. In females, it depends on how old they are and what's the goal, but if it's Olympic level, I only give them carbohydrates when it's below 16. Now, you've heard of PMS, premenstrual cycle. That's a condition where you need carbohydrates. PMS in English means pass my shotgun, pack my suitcases, pass me sweets. So that's a case where you need carbohydrates, but I just answered your question for athletics. But I would like to make a note on this. One stupid thing that we do in the Western world is we tell people to eat the same amount of calories every day. You can sit down. So women, premenstrual, it's an extreme stress on the body. you're shedding cells from the uterus, you're losing a lot of blood. So the clients I coach, if they're pre-menopause, I increase carbohydrates by 50% 3 days before they menstruate. If society would do that, the price of Kevlar vests or the need for Kevlar vests would disappear. Does that make sense? So carbohydrates intake is conditional. You need to deserve your carbohydrates. So if you're premenstruating, eat carbs, please. Next question. You're a very shy audience. More questions.
Buonasera. Correre a digiuno tutti i giorni per 15 minuti, 20 minuti e poi fare pranzo dopo mezzogiorno.
Mm-hmm.
Con qualche esercizio isotonico anche.
Do you want to die senile? What you're doing is terrible for your brain. If you're going to do intermittent fasting, eat, and then an hour later you could train. But to do intermittent fasting, train, and then eat, your brain is aging prematurely. Next.
Hello.
Hello.
I wanted to ask if the water intakes is the same for anybody and what you recommend.
Water intake is 3.37 milliliters times the weight in kilos. So if you weigh 100 kilos, you need to drink 3.37 liters of water. That is the minimum. That is the minimum. If you exercise, you need more. If it's hot, you need more. If it's humid, you need more. If you cry a lot, you need more. So anything that makes you lose water should be replaced. It is individual, but I don't know if you know this, but in research, people who are chronically dehydrated will store more abdominal fat. If you store abdominal fat because you're stressed, your brain is aging prematurely. I have 9 minutes for questions. So if you want the questions, don't ask me in the hallway, ask me now. So show up here.
Ciao. È
Ciao.
molto diverso il tipo di allenamento che deve fare una donna da quello che deve fare un uomo? Incidono i diversi livelli di testosterone o le differenze proprio del corpo?
Stop. I get it. Okay, should women train differently than men? The only difference between men and women is the plumbing. I don't have a drastic difference between world champions, female, or world champions, male. What is different is the rate of progress, all factors being equal, will always be greater for males because they got more testosterone. But 5 reps for a male, 5 reps for a female, there's no difference.
Thank you.
Welcome. I don't know why Italians ask questions so long. I can answer right away. I don't need the background story. Okay, let's see. Can you do it in 10 seconds or less? Go.
No, thanks. Io soffro spesso di crampi cronici. Prendo integratori di magnesio e ho visto che non dipende dalla quantità di allenamento che faccio. Non sono riuscita a trovare un pattern. Da cosa può dipendere?
answer this question.
Yep.
Is it the left or the right?
Both.
Okay. Somebody asked a question about alkaline diet. That is the case where she needs to be more alkaline. So when you cramp on the left, it's magnesium deficiency. When you cramp on the right, it is potassium deficiency. If it's both sides, there's one thing that is common between potassium and magnesium. They are alkalizers. They alkalize reactions in the body. So when you present with multiple cramps, your diet is not alkaline enough, or your lifestyle, but stress acidifies the body. Maybe you're going through a stressful period. That could be a cause, but there's always a solution. When people have repeated cramps, the best solution is green drinks. So it's like a powder, and they grind up vegetables. I would take 15 grams, or a tablespoon, 5 times a day, and bye-bye cramps.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Welcome. I used to have a shirt like this, but my dad got his job back at the factory. I didn't have to wear it anymore. Go.
Spero di buttarla via anch'io. La domanda è questa. Io ho un familiare che sta facendo dei cicli di chemioterapia. Saranno lunghi 2 o 3 mesi. Volevo sapere se c'erano delle indicazioni alimentari particolari e integratori.
I got it. Okay. If you go on my website, you'll see a story about Adrienne Wilson. She went under chemo. She came to see me because she had chemo. So I'm going to give you the solution, I promise. When you have cancer, it is bad cell communication. So she said, I don't want to take a lot of supplements. Okay. So she would have 1 chemo. She was trying to be on the Olympic team for shot put. She really wanted to go to the Olympic Games. The chemo specialist said, be happy if you can walk. So her coach, that I coached, who was a world record holder, said, can you take care of our Adrienne? Sure. So I'm going to tell you, legally, I'm going to tell you what I would do. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You do whatever you want. Okay? Deal? So I put her on this protocol. She had a chemo, trained the next day. But she only did the protocol for 5 days. Then trained for the Olympics, had another chemo, trained the next day. So the doctor calls me, very irritated, and he says to me, hey, what the fuck are you doing? I said, what's the problem? She now recovers in 1 day. Before, it was 10 days. He goes, what did you give her? So I'll tell you what I would do. Not you, me. But that's what she did. You buy fish oil that is 80% DHA. That's very, very important. Not EPA, DHA. I gave her 3 grams 3 times a day. Then I gave her the amino acid taurine, 2 grams 3 times a day. But first I did the HCl test. Then I gave her green tea extract, and that is very important to choose the right brand. I don't get paid to tell you this, but I have analyzed green tea. It's always full of chemicals. So you want a pure green tea extract. The best in the world is Designs for Health. Gave her that. She qualified for the Olympic Games. She only weighed 80 kilos. All her teammates were 140 kilos. So she was the strongest woman pound for pound. At 80 kilos, she could incline press 140. That's pretty strong. So 140 incline press is the sum of all the incline press for one football team in Italy. So she was really strong. She did not make the Olympic team. She was 4th, which is pretty good, considering that they said, be lucky if you walk. Why does it work? Because those are the top 3 nutrients that control cell signaling, how cells talk to each other. So the doctor says, there is no scientific evidence on what you say. I said, do you have email? Yes. I said, if I sent you 60 scientific papers per ingredient, would you believe me? It doesn't exist. Fuck you. It's in your email right now. So while I was talking, I was copying a thing and sent it to him. And then he goes, I'll call you tomorrow. Calls me the next day. I said, I'm very sorry. I didn't know this existed. I said, yeah, but you told me that it doesn't exist. I found you 180 studies, and now you believe me? He says, I'm an asshole. No, I said, you're a doctor asshole, okay? You're not God. Read the research and fuck off. And guess what? Does he give to his patients who have chemo? My protocol, okay? So for your friend, family, this is what I would do if I was them. But I'm not telling you to do this legally. You understand? But, so I repeat, 3 grams of DHA, 2 grams of taurine, and 2 pills of certified grain tea extract 3 times a day. You get rid of chemo like this. We can win the fight. Thank you.
La vitamina C?
Vitamin C? Yes, but I'm giving you the 3 most important. The rule is, the more different and the broader the base of antioxidants, the better it is. But I'm giving you the finger in the eye technique.
Hi. When do you when do you recommend to train, and what do we have to eat before that?
Okay, one question. Okay. When do you train? There are 2 types of testosterone producers. There are early morning testosterone producers. The way you can tell is you wake up in the morning under a teepee. When you piss, you have to do a handstand. Okay? That's a strong erection. If you can fuck a coconut, even better. The other type is late afternoon testosterone producers. That's the type of guy, he's walking. He sees, you know, the sign for women's toilet, the woman with a dress, she's hot. You have high testosterone in the afternoon. So, what research from Slovakia shows is that if you're a morning testosterone person, you should train early in the morning. If you're a late testosterone person, train in the afternoon. So you have to choose the time, okay? But if you wake up with an erection, a dog can't chew and a cat can't scratch, you're a morning person. That's your question. 2 more. By the way, what to eat before a workout is on my website for free.
Argomento grasso viscerale. Come lo affronti dal punto di vista nutrizionale e attività fisica?
Okay, visceral fat means inflammation. The best way to kill inflammation is fish oil. And for supplements, actually the best product in the world is Italian. What I find very interesting is Italy produces very good research on brain, very good research on inflammation. I read it, but Italian doctors don't read it. But most of the stuff I know from the brain is actually Italian research. So there's an Italian company called Indina. They make the best Western herbs in the world. And they have a special type of curcumin called Merenda. Merenda curcumin is the only curcumin known in the world that can cross from the blood into the brain. So it reduces brain inflammation. If you reduce brain inflammation, you're going to reduce visceral fat. As far as food, grains and cheeses are the most pro-inflammatory foods. So eat like a caveman, that should take care of the nutrition. It's a very simple rule. When you see a food, ask yourself this question. Did the caveman have access to that food? If it's yes, then it's paleo. Good. Yes.
Physical activity?
Don't do cardio. Anything else is good.
Ciao.
Ciao. That will be the last question of the day because Frank has to talk. Go.
Thank you. Quanti grammi di proteine al massimo posso assimilare al giorno e devo adattare il consumo d'acqua in base alle proteine assunte?
How many grams? It depends on what is your goal. Are you trying to put, what is your goal?
Stronger.
You want to look good naked?
Why not?
Okay, doesn't make you a bad person. Protein intake is genetics based. So if you live far from the equator, you need a lot. I mean, your genetics from. So if you're from Senegal and you move to Oslo, the rule doesn't matter, right? Because you were born from near the equator. So carbohydrate running people, it's 1.5 gram per kilo. But me, being the descendant of a Mohawk, it's 3.3 grams a kilo. Looking at you, 1.5 is good. And water, yes, water will help, but the most important thing when you increase protein, and that is the biggest mistake, is not increasing salt. Have you ever watched a John Wayne movie?
A little bit.
Okay. So in John Wayne movies, when he refers to the Native Indians, he will say, "Look at those bloodthirsty savages." Why? Because Indians have red teeth. Not because they're bad health, it's because they drink blood. They kill a moose or a bison, they drink the blood. Why do natives drink the blood? Because they know by instinct that you need more salt when you consume high protein intake. The average native Indian would consume 4 kilos of meat a day. In the American prairies or Canadian prairies, there's no salt shakers. So as soon as you increase protein intake, you need to increase salt. Water should take care of itself. But the rule is, when you consume salt, it has to have a color, not white. Okay? Beige. If you have a wine salt, it's red, Himalayan salt. So salt that has a color always means it has micro minerals in it. And that's very important. When people go from high carbohydrate diet to low carbohydrate diet, one of the most common complaint is fatigue. And people say, I need my carbs. I don't have any energy. That's bullshit. The reason why you have no energy is not because you don't have carbs, it's because you don't have enough salt for the protein you consume. So as soon as they add salt, they feel really good. That's what's important.
What kind of salt?
A salt with a color. Himalayan red, Brittany salt, anything that's not white. When it's white, it means you got rid of the micro minerals. Okay? So I want to thank you all for hosting me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Prego.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Charles Frank. Possiamo dire una cosa?
Prego, perché io non ho il microfono.
Tu non hai il microfono, Tiziano si arrabbierà tantissimo.
Va bene.
C'è il microfono qui.
Oh, grazie.
Una piccola cosa. Avete avuto oggi su questo palco, posso dirlo, il più grande esperto di nutrizione, sistema, fitness, tutto quello che volete, del mondo. Così.
Signore e signori, Charles Poliquin!
Con Frank Merenda vi ritroverete fra mezz'ora circa e continueremo un'altra sessione di questa splendida giornata. Grazie mille.